Good morning everybody. I'm going to do another tutorial here, and this is based on I'm going to talk about two different things on this video. Firstly, I've had a request from somebody about pedals, and specifically the PSR SX900, but then this is also going to be relevant with the PSR SX700. These are the latest keyboards. We basically they're the follow-on from Genos, which is this keyboard here. Now, Genos, you have 3 sockets in the back, and for pedals, you've got volume, sustain, and S.art, which stands for super articulation. Now, for us old players that quite often that play the organ, we like to use a volume pedal. Now, I am going to recommend. I do work for a company who basically I work for a shop, and we do sell these items. This is an expression pedal. This is a Yamaha one. Now, I will personally only use a Yamaha one. It's very, very weighty. It's lovely because it doesn't move. Some generic ones can be quite lightweight. That's my own personal opinion, but I really like these. Being Yamaha, they are slightly more expensive than other ones, but it's worth it because it doesn't move around when you're playing, and so this is the volume or expression pedal, as we also call it. Now, I also have a Yamaha sustain pedal. Now, also the same. This is a proper Yamaha FC3. It's heavier, so it doesn't move around, and it is just like a piano pedal. So if I'm playing and I want it like a piano, I can. So, except for I've got a different piano on there at the moment. Yes. So so that's what that is. This is just a generic pedal, and it can be used as super articulation. It can be it can be used for anything, and it's the same as the sustain pedal, but yes, as you can see, but Yamaha also do one of these as well. So personally, as I said, I would, if you're going to go for a pedal, I would highly recommend Yamaha ones. Now, pedals, on the way I've always done it is we have a button here called direct access. Now, this button is amazing, I think. If I press this button, and then what I do now is I touch anything, it will take me to the relevant page in correspondence to what I'm using. So I want to use the volume pedal. Now, if I press that, the page changes and it comes up and it's assignable. So you can see here on assignable, I have foot pedals, and I've got sustain, registration, volume. Now, volume, because I touched the volume pedal, it has turned orange. So if you've got you're putting in pedals for the first time, what I would personally recommend is put your volume pedal in, because on the SX700 and 900 you've only got 2 sockets and they basically say pedal, they don't specify. So if you plug in your volume pedal, put that into the keyboard, then press direct access and then touch the pedal, it will take you straight to the page, and then you can put on it, because Yamaha, the preset, it sets out as sustain and S.art. So put it onto the volume. Now, what's fantastic about about Genos and the SX series, on Tyrus and previous models, you would assign the pedals, but if you assigned it to something different, it wouldn't stay, it would go back to factory status. So I used to say to everybody, save it in your registration, just save it in your registration and put pedals. So that way when you turn it on in the morning, you can just press that button. But on Genos and on the SX, you've actually got, it's assigned. So once it's assigned to it, it will stay there. So when you wake up in the morning, you go and turn on the keyboard, you can assign it to to that part. Now, the thing with the volume pedal, you don't have to just use it as a volume. So when, as I said about organ players, so if I basically go to an organ setting, what I'm going to have to do now is drop these back down. I wanted to show you personally myself, so I'm just going to drop them back down. Right, so if I basically have got the organ and got my one touch setting, I've got organ rumba, as you can see I've selected. What's really good about this is if I press the sustain pedal, now if I press direct axis and sustain, if you're using it similar to an actual an organ, what you have got is a rotary speaker. So if I basically go to my rotary speaker, which is on voice, organ, rotary, slow and fast. Now what I can do is on my rotary speaker, this button over here will come on. So so basically that will also turn on my rotary speaker. So just like we used to have on the Hammond and the Lowrys and stuff like that, you've actually got it, what we call the Leslie speaker. So but I'm not going to keep it on rotary because I use it as sustain all the time. So I will go back to page. So as you can see, it's so simple. Press the pedal and it takes you straight to the signable. Now you have got other features, so like the volume pedal, you could even use that as a wah-wah. So if you're into your guitar playing, so if I basically go to volume and voice and let's have a look, and so here we go, pedal control wah. So if I see I can get different sort of sounds, and yeah, so I can change it to what I want it to be. So I will leave it on volume. So when it comes to the pedals, as I said, I would personally, if you're buying, buy Yamaha, because they really I've had them for donkey's years, and they really are fantastic. I don't work for Yamaha, I'm a player. In that sense, I don't work for them outright, but I'm just recommending what I would choose. Now, so on the SX, yes, you just press direct tap, put your pedal in, make sure you put your volume pedal in first, pop it in the back into one of the pedal buttons, press direct axis and the pedal, and then that way it will take you straight to that page and you assign it to volume. Okay, so that's how to do that one. Now, something else that I wanted to bring up was you can also use pedals if you use registration. Now, I have got my other one, my little flat one here. Let me just check, it is that one. That's it, registration sequence. That's it. So now, if I have my registration, so if I go to we go to Bewitched. Okay, there we go, Bewitched. So now registration, and so I've got now if I turn on my registration sequence, so let me go to menu, registration sequence. So insert number 1, insert I'll delete that one, delete, right, and number 2, insert number 3, insert number 2, insert number 4, insert, and then basically go back to the top. So if I want to do that, so now, okay, that's all done. So my registration sequence is on, so I'm going to put it on to number 1, and okay, sequence. So I'm going to save that. Right, save here, Bewitched, and I'll put reg 1. Right, okay, that's it. So I've now saved that in there, and so what I will do now, so when you're playing, basically what that's done is I've got my registration. Now, instead of having to take my hands off the keyboard when I'm playing, when I play, I can basically use a foot pedal. So especially if you're learning and stuff like that, and you so many people say to me, I can't keep taking my hands off and doing whatever. So if you put it on the pedal, that's a good way of actually doing it as well. So so that way I've always got that. But on Genos, as I said, we've got 3 sockets for pedals, but on the SX you've only got 2. So decide what you prefer to use. So that's talking about pedals. Now I want to talk about another feature which Yamaha, when they first come out with Tyrus and previous models, the one thing us players and owners used to moan about was, why is the style so much louder than the voices on the one touch settings? So I always used to say to everybody, so if you have a look on my mixer, so here's my mixer, so style is set at 100. So I always say to people, look, the best thing you can do is turn it down to about, I think about 70 or whatever, and then that way it will stay at that the whole time you've got the keyboard on. It will. So this is what I say to people, just turn it down. But Yamaha have brought out this put this part into the instruments, which is relevant with Genos and the SX series. Now it is brilliant, it's absolutely brilliant when you're a player and you so I'm going to set it up to play I Dreamed a Dream. So a serial movie, and I'm going to also bring up my mixer because I want you to watch so the style and stuff like that. Now when you go into the style, so this is your style page. If you press menu, okay, just here, if you press menu and then you've got style setting, this one in here, right, style setting, this one, dynamic control, okay. Now I'm going to press that, there we go, and it's got, so if you've not changed this, which you probably haven't if you don't know about it, it will be on off. Now it's got narrow, medium and wide. So what's that basically talking about? It's basically where you use on the range of the keyboard. Now, as you know by my videos, I'm all over the place, so I'm going up to the top and whatever. So I've set it on wide. Now the reason being, what dynamic control is, the way I explain it is, when you're playing, when you go to the theatre and the orchestra's playing, or even a film, and you get really emotional and it goes quiet and then the music comes up and it gives you that feeling about how it's sort of, it makes it part of the music. Now when you're playing the keyboard, it's so hard that you can't do that. But what Yamaha have done is so clever. Depending how I play with my right hand will control what my left hand is doing. So if I go quiet on my left and right hand, I'm going to change that. I'm going to do it on movie soundtrack. That's a better one to do it on. So please excuse me, a bit froggy this morning. And so when you're playing, of course you want to get that emotion into the music. So if you're playing softly, the style will quieten down. If you play loud, it comes up. Now I'm going to put the mixer on. Now it's on volume. This is the rhythm, so let's see what I mean. Now, okay, so let's turn that off. Now, let's try it, and I'm gonna set it. I'll put it on narrow. Now let's watch it on there as well. So I know it's sort of stop and start and whatever, but basically it actually it's sort of like the trouble is I've got it set on something else in the keyboard, so but basically it controls the level. So when you're playing, so if you're playing slow music or whatever else, it will actually be able to, it picks it up and it senses how hard and soft you're playing on the actual instrument. So So as you see, I changed it over to medium, and it gives it that whole sense, and it's a great way of basically of being able to actually get the feeling behind the music, and it will basically control it. So it depends how you play. If you're playing soft, or if I'm playing hard. And so basically it's like the dynamics and stuff like that, and it picks it up and it controls what's happening in the left hand. So I would highly recommend. So basically it's when you go to your style and you go to menu and it's style setting. Style information, people want to know about that one. That's really handy. Basically it tells you what instruments are basically under your one touch settings, so that you can actually have a look. So yeah, so that's a really good one as well. So I want to touch it on the TV screen. So that's all under menu. So so there's two different things, talking about the pedals and also talking about the dynamic control. So that's how to basically get to them. Okay, hope that's okay. And it's the same on Tyrus. With the direct access, do exactly the same with the pedals, and it will take you straight to the page. So the direct access button is a godsend. It saves you having to think, you think, where's that and what's that and whatever. It's all basically, it's directing you to different parts of the menu. So that's basically, but it takes you straight to that page of what you want to actually look into. Okay, have a good day everybody, and I will see you again shortly. Take care. Bye bye.